Today I fucked up by eating 12 Fiber 1 brownies. I bought a 12-pack of Fiber 1 brownies the other day and ate all 12 brownies over the course of last night and this morning, all within 12 hours. My stomach continued rumbling and feeling weird but didn't hurt, so I thought everything was fine. I even looked up how much fiber one should eat in a day, and the amount I had consumed was way under the limit. Later today, I let out what I thought was a small fart and then realized I really had to poop, so I went to the bathroom. Upon pulling down my pants, I saw that my underwear was filled with the creamiest soft serve like poop you've ever seen. I've taken multiple doses of Imodium, and I'm still having to run to the bathroom every hour. Never again. Too long did not read. Pooped my pants after eating too many Fiber 1 brownies. Well, on the bright side, you're being cleaned out. It's not just the fiber, they probably have a lot of artificial sweetener, and that'll get things running too. You're supposed to work up to the recommended limit, not eat a bunch of fiber because someone told you to. You'll get diarrhea, constipation, and bloating if your body isn't used to taking that amount daily. I let out what I thought was a small fart. GIF, Giphy A9 TBOBGXVGQ0. Wait, you shit yourself and didn't realize it until dropping your pants? You might have another medical issue. Binge eating disorder has entered the chat. I also gorge myself to the point of physical problems on occasion, so don't feel like you're alone. Medication really helped me with impulses to binge. I also meal prep a bit, so I don't end up binging on Debbie snacks for dinner out of convenience and depression. Today I fucked up by threatening a watermelon. My account just got a warning from the Reddit admins for threatening violence. Needless to say, I was very taken aback. I commented on a post where a guy got a watermelon stuck in his sink, and he was asking how he could get it out. I told him to bust that bitch up, as in break it into pieces. But apparently Reddit didn't like my tone. I had no idea they were so protective of fruit. These admins really know how to keep their community safe and friendly. Never again will I turn to violence to solve problems. Major life lesson learned. Fruit deserves to be treated with respect, people. Please learn from my mistakes. Face with tears of joy. Too long did not read. Threatened a watermelon. Immediately got put in my place by the admin bot. Will try to be a better man going forward. As somewhat of a fruit myself. Sad but relieved face. I got banned from our /politics for bad-mouthing Trump as inciting violence, but didn't actually. Mods are tripping in every subreddit it seems. The phrase flagged and your satire is amusing, making the best of the op. Thank you for the smile. I got banned from Ada. A lady wrote her story and then asked, was I being bitch? I think I was being a bitch. I replied, yeah, you were kinda being a bitch. Boom. Perma banned. This is a view of my feed grimacing face. Are the AIs taking over? Maybe just say food chopper on the melon. Today I fucked up by confidently talking trash about my boss to my boss. So this happened today, and I'm still cringing hours later. I work in a small office where everyone uses the same break room. Today was already stressful, and I was honestly in a bad mood. My boss has this habit of micromanaging everything and correcting people over the smallest details, and today he did it again in front of everyone. Fast forward to my lunch break. I go into the break room, put my headphones on, and call a friend to vent. I was convinced I was alone. I didn't see or hear anyone else, so I just let it all out. I complained about my boss. Like really complained. I said he's insecure, that he loves hearing his own voice, that if he spent half as much time doing real work as he does hovering over people, the office would actually run better. I even joked that he probably practices giving feedback in the mirror at home. I'm mid-rant, feeling relieved, when I turn around to grab my water bottle. And there he is, my boss, sitting at the small table in the corner, absolutely still, staring straight at me. No headphones, no phone, just listening. We made eye contact. A solid 2 seconds of silence. Enough time for my soul to leave my body and file for permanent resignation. I froze. He slowly stood up, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, interesting feedback. Then he walked out. I spent the rest of my lunch break considering fake illnesses, career changes, and moving to a different country. He hasn't said anything since, but every time I hear footsteps behind me, my life flashes before my eyes. Too long did not read. Thought I was alone, talked shit about my boss on the phone. He was sitting behind me the entire time and heard everything. He didn't confront you because he's saving it for your annual review. Man's playing the long game. Sounds like he took it like a champ Actually, you need to realize we're all human. If people are shit-talking me, I want to know and listen. I may not agree, but other times it may be something I do need to work on. We had a boss I named Batman, because as soon as you start shit-talking him, Twinkle Toes would sneak up behind you. I would look both ways, and he would come out a corner. It was his bat sense. You can't be that stupid. Why would someone trash-talk any co-worker at work? Even worse, why would anyone do this with headphones? And even worse than that, why would anyone do this before making sure they are alone, and not sitting facing the door to stay sure they are alone? This is not real. Can't be real. Thanks ChatGPT, great made-up story. Like really complained. I said he's insecure, that he loves hearing his own voice, that if he spent half as much time doing real work as he does hovering over people, the office would actually run better. I even joked that he probably practices giving feedback in the mirror at home. That is shit talking, not complaining. When I became a boss, I was told someone somewhere will be talking shit about you every second of the day from now on. Truer words were never spoken, and accepting this truth allowed me to get through a lot of rough times with direct reports. Anyway, maybe your boss knows this is to be expected and will overlook it. Today I fucked up by making a joke about doing drugs and lost my job 'cause of it. This is my Christmas here on Australia, and December is usually summertime month around here. Some of my friends in Canada were surprised to know, and one friend told me it must suck to have a Christmas without Christmas vibe. The cold and snow, and snuggling near the cozy fire, and sip hot cuckoo is what makes Christmas Christmassy. So I had the dumb silly idea of putting a couple of lines of sugar on a coffee table like it's cocaine. I took a picture with my buddy with thumbs up and a big smile, posted on Facebook with the caption, "One way or another I am having a snowy Christmas, lol winking face winking face." I knew some people wouldn't get the joke. Some people would say it's bad joke, but it's 2025, people get offended no matter what you do, so live a little and stop worrying over everything. And just as I thought some didn't get the joke, some didn't like it, and some laughed. Went to work the next day, and I was little worried my boss would say something. I forgot half of my coworkers know my Facebook account, but no one said a thing. 3 days goes by, and I completely forgot about it until I got called by HR. I sit there, and without a single word she pulls out a printed screenshot of my post. Tells she wants to talk about this. I tried telling her it was a bad low-effort humor, but she tells, "We know you were trying to make a joke. That's why I want to talk to you about this." And goes on telling drugs are not a topic to joke about. People lose their lives and families fall apart because of this. You make inappropriate comment or a joke on the internet, and move on with like nothing happened, but people in the internet are people just like you and me, and some people had a very bad experience with subtenses in the past or the current present, and told me her older brother struggled with methamphetamine addiction for many years, and even though he recovered and went sober, not everyone had the luxury of a happy ending, and eventually reminded drugs are very illegal in Australia, and they are very dangerous, and the company doesn't associate themselves with this kind of humor, and therefore they made the decision to end my employment with them. I can't blame them, to be honest. TLDR, I made a silly jokey post on Facebook about doing drugs, and HR gave me a long lecture on doing drugs isn't humorous matter, and they fired me because they don't associate themselves with that kind of inappropriate humor and doing dangerous illegal activities. This is definitely a fuck up and a reminder to not post stuff on social media that you could regret later, along with keeping work and personal lives separate. It still blows my mind that people don't realize everything you publicly post online can and will be used against you. I call BS. Aussie employment laws wouldn't allow this to go down the way this post says it did. It's no joke, man. If you hold a bag of sugar out to a cop in Canada and tell them it's cocaine for sale, you can be charged. Just another reminder that HR is there to protect the company, not the employees. It used to be the case that parents told their children not to post things on the internet because it would ruin your life later. Shame no one warned you about the fact the internet affects real life, but now you know.